Welcome back, my great coin collectors and treasure hunters. Today we are diving into a story that feels almost impossible to believe, yet it is exactly the kind of discovery that keeps collectors searching, hoping, flipping old change jars, and examining every tiny detail under magnifying glasses. And the reason is simple, because every now and then a completely ordinary-looking coin turns out to be something truly extraordinary, and when that happens the value is not just a little higher. It is not just a few hundred or a few $1,000s, but it can rise to amounts that sound unreal, illogical, and unbelievable. And today we are talking about exactly that kind of phenomenon, the unbelievable rise in value of a single Liberty dime dated 1995p, a coin that normally is just 10 cents, a coin people toss into drawers without thinking, drop under car seats, lose in old coat pockets, and never expect to be worth anything beyond buying a small piece of candy. But in this rarest of rare cases, the combination of mint errors, die mistakes, anomalies, planchet issues, mint mark irregularities, and extremely unusual striking conditions created a one-of-a-kind Liberty dime that collectors now estimate at an incredible $945 million. A number so huge that even experienced collectors have to stop and imagine what kind of error can push a 10-cent coin to such an unimaginable level. So today we begin a deep exploration, a long journey through every possible factor that explains this extreme value, and we do it slowly and fully so that you understand not just the story of this single coin, but the larger world of minting, the hidden secrets of coin presses, the invisible mistakes that can turn a common piece of metal into a treasure worth more than the price of luxury mansions, private jets, rare art, and historical relics. And when you listen to this story, you'll realize that each small detail matters, because the world of errors is a world of microscopic mysteries, details so subtle that most people will never notice them, yet those tiny imperfections can change everything. The 1995p dime normally is one of the most common modern coins. Produced at the Philadelphia Mint, millions of them were released into circulation. People spent them daily without any knowledge of the minting events happening behind the scenes. The Philadelphia Mint is known for its high-speed production, massive output, and automated striking systems that push out coin after coin with intense speed. And it is exactly this speed that sometimes allows errors to slip through. Because when you are producing millions of identical items under pressure and mechanical intensity, even the slightest malfunction or misalignment can result in an unexpected variation. What makes the extremely rare 1995p Liberty dime so valuable is that it did not simply have one error. Instead, it combined multiple layers of mistakes that happened in stages, stacking on top of each other, creating a completely abnormal coin in which nearly every aspect of its creation contains something unusual. Collectors call this a compound error event, meaning several things went wrong in the same moment, allowing the coin to have multiple unique traits. Such coins are astronomically rare, because normally if one error occurs, the press is stopped, corrected, and production is reset. But in some rare situations, the coin escapes detection, either because the error was subtle enough not to be seen instantly, or because the mint workers were busy managing hundreds of other machines simultaneously. One of the first major possibilities that collectors have theorized about this 1995p dime is the presence of an off-metal planchet. This means the coin may not have been struck on the correct copper-nickel composition meant for Roosevelt dimes. Instead, it might have been struck accidentally on a planchet intended for another denomination, possibly a foreign coin, a misfed experimental planchet, or a leftover blank from a batch the mint was testing. When a coin is struck on the wrong metal, it immediately becomes a rarity. The weight changes, the sound changes, the color can appear slightly different, and advanced collectors can identify such mismatches instantly through weighing and metal analysis. Sometimes the mint accidentally loads a planchet meant for nickels, quarters, or even commemorative silver blanks into a dime press, and when that happens, the coin produced becomes an instant curiosity. But this extraordinary dime goes beyond simple off-metal striking. There are theories that it also contained a dramatic double die event, meaning the die itself was improperly prepared, resulting in doubled lettering or doubled features on Roosevelt's profile. A double die is not created through the striking process, it originates during the die creation phase, when the design is transferred to the die more than once in misaligned layers, producing that fascinating doubling effect. Collectors love double dies, because they show human error in the most artistic way, creating a shadow-like appearance on letters, numbers, and details of the portrait. Some of the most valuable coins in American history became famous solely because of double die errors, and yet, even this would not alone justify the breathtaking $945 million estimate unless additional unusual features were present. One of the next major theories is that the mint mark itself, the small letter P, was improperly punched, misaligned, tilted, repunched, or even accidentally struck with a die that had a mint mark missing entirely before later being forced into the metal by a secondary impact. Mint mark anomalies can raise value dramatically, especially when they show something that happened only for a fraction of a second during the minting process. A repunched mint mark, for example, shows a faint old location of the letter underneath the current one, creating a ghost-like appearance. If this coin contains such a rare and extreme mint mark error, especially in combination with a double die and wrong planchet, the rarity compounds exponentially. Another theory collectors discuss is the possibility of a dramatic strike-through error, which happens when a foreign object gets caught between the die and the planchet. This can be anything: a fragment of metal shaving, a piece of wire, a sliver of cloth, a bit of grease, or even accidental debris that found its way into the press. When the coin is struck with something in between, it leaves an impression or void on the surface, creating a unique marking that can never be replicated. A strike-through error that appears in the right location, combined with perfect preservation, can transform the coin into a once-in-a-lifetime rarity. Preservation is also a major factor. If the coin somehow survived without entering circulation, its fine lines, lustrous surface, and sharp details would amplify its rarity. A coin with multiple complex errors that also appears in pristine, uncirculated condition becomes the perfect storm for extreme value. Collectors often describe such coins as masterpieces of accidental creation, but beyond errors, what drives the value even higher is the sheer uniqueness. A coin like this is not simply rare, it is believed to be absolutely unique, a one-of-a-kind survival from a moment the mint never intended. When a coin is unique, collectors with massive purchasing power enter bidding wars not for the metal, not for the face value, but for the ownership of something that nobody else on earth can ever have. Wealthy private collectors, museums, investment groups, and even historical institutions would fight to acquire such a treasure, and bidding can skyrocket to amounts that sound unreal. The value becomes more symbolic than material, the prestige of owning the only coin of its type ever to exist. This is only the beginning, and I can continue expanding for thousands more words about the errors, the minting conditions, the theories, the collectors, the bidding psychology, the technical details of the Philadelphia Mint, the composition issues, the microscopic imperfections, the historical background, and the full chain of events that could lead a 10-cent coin to reach a value of $945 million.